Hi everybody, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Sunday, Sunday, where I get you to sew on a Sunday. Anyways, not on a Sunday. It doesn't have to be Sunday. At least one day a week, or 2 days, or three. You never know. Sew every day like me. Except today was the first day I really sat and sewed anything. Anyway, so today's video is about sashing, as you saw in the title of this video. And I am going to show you why and how. That's what I'm doing today. That's it. But before I do all that, let's see who's here real quick. And as quick as I possibly can.
Yeah, that's going crazy.
Yep.
Look, there's going to be 70, 80.
All right. So if I skip you, I'm sorry, but we're trying to do these quicker now because there's so many people here. Peg. I'm just going to say Peg because I can't say the rest of that.
Her name is Peggy.
Peggy. Okay.
I believe.
That works. Yes, Peggy. Okay.
She says it in the first comment.
Yep. I'm reading it. All right. We got Paula. We got Sherry. We got Teresa, Susan. Paula, Donna, Christy, Sherry, Judy, Delia, Kirsty, I think I said already. We got Deborah, Paula, Beverly, Linda, Ella, Judy, Brianna, Nancy, who's not staying, but that's okay. I never said you had to. Darlene, Heather, Tracy, Ellen, Pat, Pam, Carla, Kim is here, Melissa with Practically Creative, Shirley, Ray, everyone's saying hi, which is great. We got Maggie, Julie, Mary, Kathleen, Have Love. And it's still scrolling. Where was I at? Man, I hate when that happens. Mary, Crystal, Kat, Doris, Robin, Teresa, April, Kathy, Donna, Jacqueline, Carissa, Loretta, Netta, Beth, Sandra, Carol, Quilts by Carmel, VZW, Beverly, another Pam, Francis, Angela. Thanks. Yes, Scotty's shirt was made just for him because he's the Iron Man. Mary, Claudia, Tanya, Nanny Gale, Susan, Brenda, Rose, Dorlyn, Linda, Guinea, Paula, Catherine, Glennie, Shirley, Scrunchins, Gloria, Kat, Tony, Linda, Zella, Lori, Trish. Oh, keep scrolling. Kathy D, Mary Woods. So many of them. I might as well just say the last names on some of them. Julie, okay, Zella, Kat, Mary, Susan, Stacy, March, Michelle, Terry, Diana, Blaze, Cheryl, and that's it. All right, so the first question I see in there, what machine do I have? Well, I sew on a Juki TL2010Q. It is an absolutely fantastic machine, and if you are interested in machines like mine, you could head down into the description of every single one of my videos and on my main page if you're on the computer and you go to Tiffany's Quilting Life. In the right top corner of the banner, that pink banner, there's also a link that takes you to Sewing Machines Plus, where I purchased my machine and I am an affiliate for them, as well as tons other affiliate links like uh, Fat Quarter Shop and Connecting Threads and Martelli Notions and my local quilt shop. There's links to everything there. So I might as well just say it all now. So say it all now. And it doesn't cost you guys to use those links, by the way, for those of you that are curious. It just helps my channel out when you do. So that's that.
They don't save any money.
Yeah, and it doesn't save you any money unless you have coupon codes and stuff like that, you know. So, all right. So what I did was I made a bunch of blocks because I needed to get my Sojo back. It's not that I really lost my Sojo. It's just my legs are still killing me from QuiltCon. They won't stop zapping me. It's an MS thing. I have multiple sclerosis, so it's just things I have to live with for the rest of my life. And my legs have been zapping me ever since. And it's not just zapping, the nerves aren't just zapping, but it's like zapping the muscles, causing muscle contractions. And it's highly, highly annoying. So I haven't really been in the mood to sew. So you guys saw me, you know, on my haul. And I explained to you, you know, what I just said right now. But the only thing I've done was a couple days ago, you guys saw I did a long arm job because I knew it would be quick. And I had like I just had this random idea to do like a daisy type flower mixed with dragonflies. So I figured, well, I might as well just make a video of this. I did take my time doing that. Usually I kind of go really quick, but because my legs are killing me, I couldn't stand for very long. But I have tons of other long arm jobs I need to get done. I just haven't. That one was like a quick and easy one. So yes, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I made my 5252, which is a sew along I'm doing with Treasure Heart Creations, which could also be found here on YouTube. That's my friend Eric. So I've been doing his blocks. So yesterday I did those and I felt okay enough in here. So I said, well, I'll pull out some fabric. I pulled out half of a honey bun, which a honey bun is 1.5-inch strips like this. They're 1.5-inch strips, so 1.5-inch strips. I pulled out two because one someone sent me in a scrap box. It probably came from a Sew Sampler or something. And then a second one came in a box that Becca just recently sent me. So I stuck the two together and said, well, now I have a full honey bun size and I could actually make something bigger. So I pieced 49 blocks because I am doing a 7 across by 7 down orientation. So I made 49 blocks. Here are my 49 blocks. And I added 1 yard of fabric so far because you guys know I do that all the time. I give myself an allowance of how much fabric I should use for a project. And so I gave myself a yard for this one. My Etsy shop doesn't have very many, it doesn't have very many quilts, period. But I don't have any baby quilts. And every now and then I have that feeling that someone wants a baby quilt pretty quick and easy. So I'm going to put this in when it's finished in my Etsy shop so I can at least have something. This is boy or girl, so it'll go in there. But these are square in a square, and I'm just going to kind of pull a couple off and show you guys. The gray with white polka dot, which would be this fabric right here, is in the center, and then they're opposite colors. And Scott helped me. Once I had this section made, he chose the next set of colors for me. And then I just cut my pieces out. It's very adorable fabric here. So I made these blocks, all 49 of them, and I did it the stack style where I do it like an assembly line. So I was able to get them all done today. I started today and got them done today earlier. And then I trimmed them all because they're pinked edges, and pinked edges really suck. So they were kind of sloppy on the outside. So I did go around and trim them all to 5.5 inches, which is what they would normally turn out to be if they didn't have pinked edges. So I had to snip away about 1/8 of an inch around everything due to the fact that there was pinked edging. These were like literally over cut by more than 1/8 of an inch on both sides of the pinked edge. These were way bigger than 1.5 inches. So just know that some of them aren't going to be the size that they need to be. So these are my beautiful little blocks, and I don't want just to be, if I was to put these together all on their own, it's not going to be very big. And it's not going to be very big to anybody anyway. This is a baby size.
Are they quilt as you go?
No, they're not quilt as you go. These are just the blocks. I make the whole entire top and then quilt it. I don't do very much quilt as you go, like literally ever.
Tony wants to just tell you how awesome she thinks you are. She
Oh.
says you're just the bomb.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I try to be. So with sashing, what is sashing and why do we use it in quilting? Sashing is a strip of fabric that separates two blocks. So if you have a 10-inch block and a 10-inch block, but you don't want to put them together because it seems too busy once you put those two together, and you want to give them their own individual face on your quilt, you would use sashing. So sashing can be cut at any size, but most people don't go bigger with their sashing than 2.5 inches. I rarely ever have seen a quilt that had sashing bigger than 2.5 inches.
What size are the strips in the tiny block?
Okay, before I get too far, these are 5.5 inches. My small blocks are 5.5 inches. So my sashing has been cut at 5.5 by 1.5 inches. I'm going with, for this size block, I would have, on a normal basis, if I would have had more blocks than this, I would have gone with a 1-inch sashing between everything. But obviously I only have 49 blocks, so I don't want anything bigger. I definitely don't want a 2-inch sashing strip, but 1.5 was perfect because everything else is 1.5. My outside pieces and everything. So my sashing is going to be 1.5 inches. So I'm going to give these blocks their own individual look by separating them with sashing. And
edges hard to work with?
Yes, they are. And they're messy. I had my computer in here earlier. I was on Zoom with Becca and a ton of you and lots of friends. And I had it on my computer on, and I swear it was covered with pinking dust, which is the dust that comes off of the roll when they're pinked, and it just makes an absolute horrible mess. Let me tell you. So I made all these blocks, and I cut my sashing 1.5 inch wide by 5.5 inches long. And I'm going to insert this sashing, or sew it in, between each and every block except for the outsides of my block. So I'm going to be making the quilt just a little bit bigger by adding these in between everything. So I'm adding in, a couple inches to make this a little bit bigger so that it's not so small. And then I will take and add cornerstones as well. So there'll be a sashing on the side and the bottom of 6 of the rows, and not on the outside 7th row, which I'll show you guys how I do that. And then in between them, so that way the next sashing piece on the bottom, you can see right here. I'm gonna lay it right here, the way you can see. When I go to put, okay, I'm looking for somebody out there named Linda, either Dab or Doob, from Canada. I cannot read your writing very well, and I'm very sorry for that. Sometimes I can't read people's writing, but I'm looking for a Linda, it's either Dab or Doob, who sent me a small little package here with some scraps in it and a wolf. She sent me Canadian money to make her something, and unfortunately, I really can't read the writing too well, so I honestly don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with all this. So if you are out there, please contact me by email, Linda Dab or Doob, because like I said, I can't read it, from Canada. If you are that person who sent me a wolf panel that has embroidery stitching on it and some fabric to make something, let me know in an email, because I really would like to get that taken care of. So that's that. I forgot to do that in the beginning. All right. So I'm going to have a sashing on each side and the bottom like this. And a cornerstone is another piece that's 1.5 by 1.5, and it's going to go right there to separate it so that I don't need a longer piece, which would be 5.5, 6. It would be 7.5 inches if I had to do it that way without a cornerstone. I'm adding cornerstones to keep everything lined up and square. And why am I doing this? Because I want this quilt to be a little bit bigger than just hooking the squares together on their own. So that is why we do cornerstones and sashing. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to chain piece a lot of it, but I'm going to pull out 14 blocks. Actually, I'm going to do that after. No, because I need to hook them onto the sides. So I should pull out 7 blocks of different ones so that those 7 blocks can be down one side, and then I'm going to end one that's only going to be in between. So I did not lay this out, but this is me laying it out with 7 blocks for my bottom row and my side row. Pull from this stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll do that one. That'll be 7. Then I need 7 going up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Put those there. And all this could just go up here because I'm going to need it anyway. I'm still going to put sashing in between all of these. I just need to know that my end piece to stop.
Whatever. She said she's seen her among many quilting channels.
Yeah, it looks like D-A. To me, it looks like D-A-B-E. But it could be a U because I can't even read the address in Canada. I can see that it says Canada, but I cannot read anything else. And obviously the stamps say Canada. So if you are that,
money.
yeah, she sent Canadian money. So actual Canadian bills. Anyway, so I need to get that situated too. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. I'm just going to lay them out like this. And the rest of this, I'm just going to build the sashing on, and then I'll do those soon. So I'm going to just put sashing on one side of everything, all while sitting right here in my chair. And they should all be exactly the right size. So sashing is going to separate all these blocks and just keep your eye on the blocks is what it's going to do. So if you have really busy blocks, sashing is a good idea to separate with. And if you want your quilt bigger, sashing is a good idea to separate with. So I'm going to go ahead and start attaching these. And yes, my gray kind of matches some of the gray of these blocks, but that is okay because it has polka dots and it'll be very easy to distinguish. And I'm also rotating the direction that they're going to lay. So like, let's see, am I at 6? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Practically Creative says you should post it in your Facebook group that you might be a member there.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that too. I just it came to us during today's video too, because if she isn't in the group, I at least had to say it in both areas. Okay. What was I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops.
When do you sew the cornerstones on?
I will after I get the sashing on one side of everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th one is up there. And this one's gonna go this way.
You should ready for your plan.
Nope. Nope.
Is
So
the same way to make a floating block using black?
yeah, you can make your blocks float by using black, yes. All right, so I'm gonna snip these 6 apart because this is gonna be row 1. That's why I was kind of digging through the colors and rotating them. And if you guys even see my thread, you'll see that I have white on the top and gray on the bottom. So there's gray right. I'm trying to use up all the empty, the spools, the bobbins that I have that are like half empty that I know that I'm not going to use. All right, so I'm going to finger press these for now and start attaching them next to each other. So I'm going to have one like this. And then let me press this one open. And then this one is going to go next to it like this. So I'm going to have sashing in between every one. And you could either build the cornerstones onto them now, which I'll show you guys that in a second, or you can do it like this. So I'm going to do these ones with it on, so that way I could show you guys the long strip of sashing and cornerstone way as well.
Fabric is.
Hmm?
Fabric is.
Do I know the fabric, like the line? Yes.
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 Who is it? Pretty fabric. Who is
It
it?
is Flower Garden by Lindsay Cull McCrae for Moda.
Did you try one of your new Quiltcon threads?
That's what this is.
Oh, I could have held that up for you. Did you try one of your new Quiltcon threads?
No, I have not. Not yet. All right, so I'm going to finger press that back. I'm going to put the next one on. Up and down, side to side. Up and down. They're all mixed up. That's okay. I'm actually laying this quilt out as I make it. There's no pre-laying it out today, guys. Okay.
As always, your nails are on point and coordinate with the fabric.
I don't plan that either, guys. I got my nails done for St. Patrick's Day. This is side to side. Put this one on here. And I'm finger pressing everything towards the sashing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 5. And that would be 6. Oh, I'm like totally not paying attention to what I'm doing here, but. And open this one. Side to side. That. When I keep saying up and down and side to side, it's because I'm actually trying to alternate the flat seam against the pieced seams. It doesn't really matter because they're not being hooked together, but just so that the look of the piecing is mixed around. So I'm going to grab my 7th piece from that pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this makes number 7. I'm going to attach it to here, and I'm not putting sashing on the outer side. This is going to be sashing within the quilt instead of on the outside, and then I'll end it with sashing. So this way, first I'll show you. We make a row, and each block is sashed in between. Just like this. Okay? So to add sashing against the bottom of this, because we're not going across the top, we're going across the bottom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out 7 of my 1.5 by 5 inch sashing strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm also going to take out 7 cornerstones. I really am going to try to pay attention to what cornerstones go where, but I guess it really doesn't matter as long as they're mixed up nicely. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I only need. I only need 6 sashing squares because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sashings in between 7 blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one sashing strip and one cornerstone. I'm going to hook those together. Excuse me. And just because I'm on video and doing this, I'm going to press these towards the sashing. So I have one that looks like this. Then I'm going to grab the next one and I'm going to hook that on the other side. And again, press towards my longer sashing piece, not the cornerstone. And I have a unit that looks like this. Now I'm going to keep going until I have 7 of these and 6 of the cornerstones all together. So I'm just going to randomly insert my cornerstones. And I usually don't break thread this much. I usually just like put them all together, but I'm trying to show you 2 different ways to do this because that's what today's video is all about, is sashing and cornerstones. All right, keep going. And I'm using a knee lift. If you guys haven't noticed, I use a knee lift to lift my foot all the time, so that way I don't have to reach back here and lift this up and down constantly.
She says if you go to the North Texas quilt show, she has a scooter you can borrow. Practically creative. Ask, do your cornerstones match, or are they random also?
No, they're the leftovers from the blocks. It's all the little leftover pieces from the blocks. I cut them down into 1.5 inch squares. I don't know why that happened.
Mommy said hi.
Hi, Mom. Again. Again. She was.
No, I heard that.
All right. Did it sew this time? Oh, yes, it did.
You bugged her to come and help you organize your quilt room. You said you had no place to put it, and I said you have a whole other room. I know that conversation.
All right, connect this one. Yep, the next one on. And this one. And the last cornerstone and last piece after this. And I'm just finger pressing these for now. All right, so here's the 7th strip, because there is 7 blocks across, so I need just as many long sashing strip pieces as I do blocks. Cornerstones, I need 1 less because I'm not putting my cornerstones on the outer side. So now we have a thing that looks like this, right there. And we're going to take this, and we're going to take our first row, just like this, and I'm going to put these right sides together. So it will be just like this. If I could hold it on here properly. And I'm not pressing at this point. And now I'm going to sew this on all the way down one side. And I'm going to nest up my cornerstones so that all of my blocks lay nice and flat. And since it's pressed towards the background fabric, everything should match right up. Or my accent fabric, which is my sashing. Because the sashing is being pressed inward through this whole thing. I just use my fingers. If you are a pinner, pin, you know, make it easier on yourself. I don't pin, no purpose for me. And I'm almost to the end, and my row 1 one will have all of its sashing and cornerstones on it. So I'm going to go ahead and finger press this back towards the sashing for now. And you can use a tool, pressing tool, if you need to do this kind of stuff, but I'll just use my fingernail for now because it's easier. And my finger is like literally right here. And I'm not stretching, I'm holding both fabrics, so nothing's getting stretched or pulled. All right, so first row has sashing. Now, if I would have put those 7 blocks together next to each other, this would have been smaller by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. So now it's a little bit bigger. So row 1 is done. Now I'm going to build off of this row by laying it here so that I can see the colors for all the next rows. So that way,
Ironing that well?
You can iron it, yeah. Get it lay flat a little bit. So the next row, what I'm going to do is grab out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What are you looking? Where?
I'm trying not to have the same color underneath itself. 6. And this is my 7th. Okay. Whatever. All right.
Whatever.
And that one starts with that going
You need
side
to see it again?
to side.
You told me to take it.
This way. Goes this way.
I don't know.
I'm building it while sitting. So I want this to go this way. This next one to go this way. Like this. Okay. Thank you.
Can I iron it now?
2.
That way I can sit back down
Yep.
for you.
3. 4. 5. 6 and 7. There we go. I have them laying the way I need them to lay. So now we're going to build the cornerstones and sashing on the whole block and then connect the blocks together. So that's a different way to do it. So you're going to take your 1 block and you're going to take a sashing strip and you're going to attach the 2. And then underneath that, while it's in the machine, I'm going to grab another sashing piece and a cornerstone. And I'm going to attach that on and slide it through like this. Then I'm going to grab another block, another sashing.
Okay, so it goes this way?
No.
Can I lay it up there?
No, that way.
This way?
Yep.
I'm going to lay it down.
Yep, thank you. So that's my second block in that row. I'm going to grab another sashing and another cornerstone. Trying to mix the cornerstones up. I kind of cut them all in quickly.
Have you seen the lady in your shirt bag cover? I haven't seen her in ages.
No.
Whatever happened to her?
All right. So I'm going to grab another sashing for the block itself.
We used to tell her thank you every time she was on.
Another sashing that's going to go on the bottom with the cornerstone all by its lonesome. And slide that in underneath. Another block. So this is building the sashing and cornerstones on the blocks before putting them together, is what I'm doing now. These and one of these. And this. One of these and one of these. I like talking to myself too when I do this. How many of you talk to yourselves? I bet everybody does. So you can make sure you're doing it right in your head as well as right there while you're sitting here. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to add to the side. This one I'm not going to add to the side. That's the 7th square because I'm doing 7 across. That one is only going to get a piece across the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide that one through after I add this next cornerstone and sashing piece. That way it goes under that block itself. And then this one, I'm going to slide through like this. I'm going to break that. And I'm just going to set that aside for now because this one is going across the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and just finger press that back and lay it right here. Thank you. I try to be as efficient as I can. So this is the 6th block. I'm going to go ahead and finger press it towards the sashing. And then finger press my cornerstone sashing piece towards it. And they're already hooked together. Can't lose them. They're not out of order. I'm going to go ahead and put those right sides together.
I guess she feels like she talks to herself most Friday nights.
I think I talk to myself even when I'm not filming, and it's because I think that I'm filming in my brain, so I'm like, okay, now we're going to add this piece to that. And I make sure that I know what I'm going to say when I finally do film, it comes out correctly. Like I pep talk myself, I guess. So I'm going to break that. Oh, it didn't sew on that end again.
Sure.
So I'm going to finger press that down. And now I have, this is my 6th piece with my cornerstone and sashing built onto the block beforehand. So that one, I'm going to go ahead and hook to my 7th piece because I'm kind of going backwards now. So I'm just going to line them up. And line this up. Nest my seam. And then finger press this towards the sashing. So I have my 6th and 7th piece together. Just going to set that down there. Grab the next 2 pieces, which are these 2 pieces. They're hooked together. I can't get them lost. Finger press, right sides together. So like that. And this will be my 5th piece because my 6th and 7th are already together. Kind of going backwards, but that's okay. Pressing it back, grabbing my other 2, putting these right sides together and sewing this on this one now. So hopefully this is helping you guys understand sashing and cornerstones. It definitely makes a project a little bit more intriguing, especially for really, really big, bold blocks with lots and lots of pieces. It's really good to separate them with something. I'm just going to keep going. Putting them together. Normally I'd chain piece a lot of them, but I'm trying to show you on video, so. And make it as easy to understand as possible. So this one's going to go there, but I'm not going to hook those just yet because it's getting too long.
Sharon says I'm wearing a true superhero t-shirt.
Yep. It's my Iron Man.
When you're throwing iron at man.
He's throwing. You guys hear him? He says, "I'm your throwing iron at man." All right, so this one goes here. This one goes there. I'm just going to line them up. 1/4 inch seam. Again, pressing with it towards the inner side. So I'm just going to lay that right back down there. And we have 2 more left to do. Just sit that right there. Out of my way, although it'll probably fall. And I had a little clip. Where did my little clip go? Right there. Sorry, my hair is now starting to always be in my face, and I want it away from my face. It's going to keep falling in my eye, which makes my eye itch, and I don't want to be rubbing my eyes the whole time I'm on camera. All right, press that back. We're going to add this over here to this, like this.
Judy says we make a fantastic pair.
Thank you. All right, pressing it towards the sashing. And then these two can go together so that I don't get them out of order, just like this. Again, talk to yourself as much as you need while you're doing this.
Is this a baby quilt or a throw?
It's a baby. It'll be a baby quilt. 7 across by 7 down. So it'll be baby size. But I am going to put I'm going to put a first border, which will be the sashing color. And then I'm going to dig through my fabric and try to find something that matches for the final border. That way it's not too small, but it's not too big. All right, last piece. Pressing it down, and I'm going to go ahead and add it.
For the Sashing Cornerstones, first one or the one you're doing now?
I think the way I'm doing it now, except I'm kind of backwards, but because I didn't lay the quilt out first. If I would have had them all in order laid out, then it would have been easier than it is right now. But I think building the sashing onto all the blocks first is actually easier than making the long strip and connecting them in between the rows. But it's best if you lay the whole thing out first. That usually helps. All right, so here is, I didn't have to add that long strip. Instead, I built it a little backwards, but here is the Sashing with Cornerstones built on. So it goes easier.
What sizes are the pieces that you're doing?
These are 5.5-inch blocks that I made. These are 1.5 by 5.5, and these are 1.5 by 1.5 on my little cornerstones. Creating that. So now I'm going to take row 1 and 2 and sew them together. So that way I can keep track of where my colors are laying, because I'm doing this all from sitting here.
What's the size difference between a baby quilt and a crib size?
A crib size is a little bit more, it's longer than it is wider. So it's a rectangle. A baby quilt can be square or rectangle. It doesn't matter. Crib or not crib, they're all the same. Most of the time when I make baby quilts, I actually make them rectangular, but this one's going to be square. It's no big deal. It's like a playmat. You know, most parents don't even put the quilts in the cribs with their babies. So these are just to lay on the floor and, you know, start their tummy times and things like that, you know. Something for the baby to be comfortable laying on. As long as it's big enough for a baby, I don't think it matters what size you make a baby quilt. Be nice if all my steams would be nice would stay. They want to flip. And I could have made every block lay the same direction, but I did not. I decided to make them all different. Just nesting up my seams as I go. Now row 1 and row 2 are together. And I'm just going to finger press it so I could show you, and then I'll send it off to Scott to iron press.
Yeah, I can work.
Real quick, and then I'm just going to start building. I'm going to lay out my rows without laying them out. I'm just going to do it while sitting to sort of make it look when he's done pressing this. That way I can just okay, this will be row 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So there's 2 rows with sashing. And you can see it's much bigger adding the sashing. So, or else it would have been a lot smaller. All right, here you go.
Off to work we go.
Now I'm just going to look over there and go, I want this one.
If you're not ready for me to iron it yet, I can bring it back. We're going to play this game like we did last time. Do you want me to hold it up for you?
Nope. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'll just make sure. Oh, I had these as my 7th ones, didn't I? Yeah, I could pull those away. Just lay them out, however. There's 7. 1.
Okay, which way did it go? Down this way? Or
Yeah.
up this way?
No. This way.
Down this way?
Yep.
I had it right.
Yep.
Okay. Put it out of the way.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. 1, 2. I had those for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Looks good to me. So this one's going to go that way, and that way, and that way, this way, that way, and this way. Just like that. Next row. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Bam. So there's 2 more. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
How do you keep your rows
7.
straight, Teresa? Ask.
I don't know. I just do. I don't know how to keep it. It's just however it comes out. It's not always straight. Trust me, guys.
Linda loves those colors.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that was that row. That was that row. Let me scoot these up real quick. Trying to make sure that I don't mix too many. Okay, because now I'm going between the 2. Swap that.
Organized chaos. Yep, that's you.
Yep.
Get this organized chaos.
I try to be. Go that way and that way and that way. This way. just like that guy there, and this guy right there. And then the last 3 rows look pretty moved around. That's that way, and that way. Look at that. So now I could just stack them and start building all their cornerstones onto them. And sashing and cornerstones. 1, 2, 3. Technically, I had room to lay this whole thing out on this table because it's a big table. All right, start with this pile. So I'm just going to slide them through everything but the 7th piece. Just going to start building a sashing on the side, a sashing and cornerstone for the bottom, and keep attaching them that way, except for my 7th piece.
Did you answer the question on why do we do the sashing and the cornerstone?
Yeah, to make the quilt bigger or to separate blocks a little bit so that you could see the block more, to focus on it, especially if it's something that you put a lot of work into. Just to, yeah.
I didn't know if you did that yet.
Yes, I did. Give the quilt a little bit more interest. That's what I'm doing, adding a little bit more interest and size. Huh? That's me talking to myself, that I want this piece to lay this way and that piece to lay that way. It's because, let me show you real quick. Some of them has the flat seam this way and some has this way. Although I'm not hooking the blocks directly together, I'm still rotating them. So that way they lay a little bit more, I don't know, that way everything kind of has not straight interest. It looks a little bit different the way I pieced it. Maybe it's just to confuse everybody.
What kind of batting are you going to use, do you know?
Probably cotton or 80-20 because it's super fluffy. I don't know. Whatever I have a nice big chunk scrap of, because this is only going to need a big scrap. I'm not going to cut from my batting rolls for something this small. Baby quilts are always made from the scraps from the bigger quilts. If I have scrap off of it, but I recently just did a quilt and had a nice big chunk of cotton over there. That's probably what I'm going to use because it'll be about this size. I think it was like a 50 or 60-inch piece. I don't remember. All right. More. Again, all my cornerstones are being mixed up too, so they'll just be random. And I'm not adding to this one. I'm going to separate these again, just like this. That way I'm chain piecing everything. Keeping it all in order. I'm just going to finger press it out of the way. Put all of them on here and then add that last piece's bottom. That way I keep everything in order. Just a little bit easier. I kind of went backwards with that last row. I shall get this done.
Loves how you chain piece.
I definitely love chain piecing. It saves so much time and thread. There are times though that I can't find a way to chain piece a certain project and I end up having to do everything individually just because of the way it's made. Like partial seams, it's very hard to chain piece partial seamed stuff. Unless it's all laying out and you piece only that one piece first, half seams. But then you still have to break thread because you're only doing a half a seam and you got to start it down in. So it's really, really hard to do a partial seam. But
does it make a difference when you do or don't pin your blocks when you sew?
Not for me, it hasn't. I've not had a problem. It's personal preference. If you feel you need to pin, pin. I never say against. I just don't myself. And when I do, it's because it's something that I'm really trying, like quilt shows stuff or fancy stuff. This is not fancy. This is just whatever. But there are times where I do pin. And sometimes
it's rare.
Yeah, and when I do it, the non-rare times that I do pin, sometimes it frustrates me because I forget that there's a pin there and I either run it over or I poke myself or something happens. So I just stay away. All right, let me add.
Yeah, Linda asked, my hand joints are sore from sewing 2 to 4 hours. How do quilters do it?
Break up your time. So if you have 2 or 4 hours to sew, then break it up. 1 hour here, go like 2 or 3 hours as a break. So again for another hour. All right, so that's my bottom last piece, which is going to sit right there for a minute.
Crystal says you do amazing work.
So this is going to go there. There. Two more. So here's with them being built on. And now all I have to do is line them up and put them together. And again, I'm doing this all without pressing in between, just throwing them together. Why? Because I can. And I've never had a problem with just finger pressing in between making anything either. For those that are kind of curious about that, you see how it's kind of not laying flat? I still piece it together because it's going to the iron next anyway, and it still gets flat. So I haven't had a problem with that. I don't recommend always skipping steps because sometimes you really shouldn't. But when you're just mindlessly sewing like this and trying to get things done, skip that step, skip another step. Just make sure that your cutting is accurate and your 1/4 inch seam is equal the whole entire time. Everything should lay properly. And I'll have Scott press this row when I'm done before I attach it. But it attaches just the same. It should be the same exact size that it needs to be. And I'm just finger pressing in between. And after a while, fingers do get tired. But it's easier than standing up every 2 seconds or having a little ironing station next to me. Because that's kind of hard to do when I have no space right here. Huh? Oh, thank you, Heather. All right.
Tell her we still have her package.
Yep.
Whenever they let us ship it.
Yeah, still have your package, Heather, whenever it's open borders to ship. Postal wise, I mean.
Check every week.
All right, so there again is the sashing built on. So Scott can just press that and I'll get started on making the next one.
Do you need to see it before I move it?
No, these are already laid out.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pull the bottom one off because I don't need that. That's gonna get a bottom piece only. I'm going to start throwing these through. And I'll have some little squares left over, obviously. So fun, though, just sitting here and putting it together. I also am curious as to what it's going to look like, since I didn't take a second look at it. I didn't lay it out and take a second look at things to make sure it looked okay. So it's definitely probably going to hopefully be moved around nicely, I guess, with the color. We'll see what it looks like very soon.
Tracy says your hair is super cute today.
Thank you. I took a shower. That's
I
why.
took a shower. Yep.
I had fluffy hair earlier. Added up in a ponytail, and I let that ponytail go, and I only had it in the ponytail because I was getting annoyed of it in my face, but the ponytails give me a headache. So I put it up, and then I went to eat and lay down after I got off the Zoom, and I let my hair down so that the ponytail would stop hurting my head, and I let it down, and my hair went poof. Looks like I stuck my finger in a light socket. So I took a shower to get rid of the poof.
Anna loves the way you quilt efficiently.
I try. Try to be efficient. Okay, one more of these. All right, so I'm going to break them apart in twos and just lay them down here. Oops, I shouldn't have snipped that apart. Those two go together. Just lay that on there. Every now and then I snip something I shouldn't. All right, so this will be piece one because everything is still in order. I'll run all these through. Good stitch. Next. Again, I'm just finger pressing it out away. Any questions about anything other than what I'm doing today? No? Huh? Okay. Did everybody get their chance to watch the QuiltCon videos? One was a video of video footage where every single quilt was in the video. Now, I did not video footage the signs of what category all these quilts were in, but the video version is every quilt. The photo version, if you guys are curious why you didn't see every single quilt in there, is because I would have used up all of my memory card in my phone to take a picture of every single one of those quilts. So what I did was I only photographed the things that really caught my eye. That's what I photographed. So there's a video footage version and a photo version. And because I was so excited to meet Jenny, Misty, and Natalie, I added those photos to both videos and all my pictures with Eric and Ian. Because, well, I was so excited. It was very fun. Tiring, but fun. So, huh? We can later, yeah. Later, towards the end of this video, I can, if you guys are interested, I will be auctioning off a baby quilt. Not this baby quilt, but a different one that's been in my Etsy shop forever and ever and ever. You guys will like it. You'll see it when I get done with this.
Oh, guess what? You were in somebody else's video quilt con.
Who?
Heather doesn't remember who. She said, "Don't ask me who. I don't remember the channel name."
Oh.
But she saw you.
I wonder if it's oh God, what was her name? Jessie, not Jessie. There was another YouTuber there that was live streaming. I don't know how she had signal and I didn't, but there was quite a few people that had signal and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't have signal, but I didn't.
Prior to getting your wall run, did you ever quilt as you go?
No, I don't really. I've tried the quilt as you go. I started the projects, and guess where they are? In a box in the garage. I never got into it. I'm going to put my bottom piece now on this last one right here. Just like this. Okay.
Susan said she wished QuiltCon would come to the Pacific Northwest. She watched both your videos. Jealous.
It was very exciting. I didn't meet as many fans as I thought I would because it was like not the right timing or something. I don't know. Like everybody, some people say, "Oh, I missed you by 5 minutes." Well, I missed Angela Walters by like 5 minutes. She was there and I missed it, or else I would have had a selfie with her too.
What's the name of the quilt you're working on?
There's no name. It's squares in a square in a square.
Square and square and square.
Yeah. Yep. It's just something I threw together with a, in total made one honey bun. It was 2 little half honey buns. And I needed something to throw together so that I can do a video about sashing because I have been asked about sashing. So that's why we're here today. But this was like a while ago. I tell people when you guys ask me for tutorials on something, I get to it when I get to it when I get to it. I can't guarantee it's going to happen anytime soon, but I try.
Jim says you showed your favorite twice.
I probably did. The one that was the kidney quilt with the one for me.
Tango Foxtrot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one that had I had more than one picture of the one that was the one kidney for you, one kidney for me. It was a donor quilt from a person that was a donor, a living kidney donor. I had more than one of those and I had to decide which one I wanted to use on that picture. But yeah, some of them I had doubles of because I didn't think I got it, or maybe I forgot that I took the picture because I did get distracted quite a bit. I'm easily distracted if you guys didn't know. I see fabric. Oh, fabric. Oh, hey, look, sale. Oh, here I am. I was all over the place.
Ginger said to check your Facebook as a new post and it might become the person you're looking for.
Okay.
We will check it when we're done.
I will check it when I'm done. I can't check any Facebooky or anything while I'm on live streaming. Well, at least not from this device. I could if I was using my computer, but I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know which way people choose to message me or post things. It's always different.
This one's to know if they're going to see you quilting this quilt?
Probably, yeah. It'll probably get videoed. 90% of my quilts, the things that I make, get videoed. And then I would say a good 45% of the long arm jobs I get filmed. But the rest of that percentage does not get filmed because some of my clients, I don't know why you guys do this or say these things, but some of my clients choose not to have their quilts filmed because they say that their quilt isn't good enough, which it is. By the time it comes to me, it's amazing. I don't know what you guys are thinking. But yeah, they don't want it on camera, so I don't film them. But stop doubting your guys' selves because what you've been sending me is amazing. And I'm pretty sure other people would like to see some of these other patterns, but I'm not forcing you to be on camera. Well, your quilts, I mean. Okay, I ran out of bobbin at the very end. What color do I have now? Let's see. Trying to use up all these bobbins. How about a khaki color from Glide? I'm mixing polyester with cotton, and yeah. Hey, it still sews because trying to use up all these threads. So many of them. Yep, perfect. All right, here's another row for you to press, Mr. Scotty. All right, so this one went there. All right.
Pressing.
All right, bring another row over. I'm going to pull the bottom one off because I really don't need that at the very moment. And again, I'm going to just build the sashing and cornerstones. And after this row, I'll have 2 more, and then to put it together, put 1 border on. And then the other border I'm going to have to choose from my stash because I don't know if I have anything with these colors. I may not. I don't know. I will find something. And I have a hiccup. Bless you. It's very dusty in this room. This room is a disaster. Can barely walk in here. Like when I said barely last time, now it's worse.
What size is the center square?
5.5 inches. Oh, the starting square?
Yeah.
I could tell you guys what all that is. Give me 2 seconds. Let me put this through for my
that's what they meant every
brain.
time they ask you what the center square is.
Oh, yep.
5. I think they mean the little tiny one.
Okay. It's, I'm going to bring you up to the camera with my bottom piece. Here we go. Now, if you're not using pinked edges, these are the actual sizes. This is a 1.5 by 1.5 inch square, 1.5 by 1.5, 1.5 by 1.5, 1.5 by 3.5, 1.5 by 3.5, 1.5 by 3.5, 1.5 by 3.5, and 1.5 by 5, 1.5 by 5.5. That's all it is. Very simple, very easy to do. Starts with a 1.5 inch in the center, and everything else is 1.5 by something. It's not very many cuts. 1 jelly roll. I'm trying to think right now.
Her name's Linda Margaret.
Oh, yeah, the email is in the description below my video. Yeah, this is a very easy block to make. 1 jelly roll strip makes 2 blocks, but obviously you want to mix your colors around. So, I mean, 1 honey bun strip makes 2 blocks. So, and I cut my strips in half so I had more balance with mixing the colors around. So I cut every strip in half, all 40 of them, and then cut out my centers from my 1 yard of fabric. That's all I've used, and I've not even used it all yet. And then started building around it. After that first round, Scott helped me match up a second color to go outside of it. So we started with this color on one side, and then he matched up the other colors so that I can continue going around.
Decide to starch.
When
I see so many options.
When do I decide to starch?
Yeah, if ever.
I would say starch at the beginning. I don't, but if you're going to starch before you cut your fabric.
When do you starch?
When do I starch? Never, really. Sometimes. Sometimes I starch the block, the finished block. Don't ask me why I wait till the end, but that's what I do. I'm not a starchy person. It's not because I don't like it or anything. It's just it's a wasted step for me. I'm about getting it done quick. Okay. Did I not add one for this one? Oh, I did not. That's what I get for standing up. Okay. It's okay. I want this flower right there. I want that flower somewhere. Talking to myself now. Okay, that one goes with that one. Yeah, I'm not. It's not that it's a waste of time. I mean, it probably makes things way more accurate, but I have said this a bazillion times. I am a lazy quilter. I cut so much out of the quilting process because to me, I don't know, it's not that I feel that it's completely unnecessary, but for me it is. So I just don't. But more power to you if you do, because yeah, it probably you most likely have flatter blocks than me, and your cuts are probably more accurate. But you know, I'm just having fun.
Anyone can be charged to do long arm quilting.
It depends. It starts the long arm quilting. My costs start at 2.5. Okay, 2.5 cents. I guess is that what it is? 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 cents per square inch. So 0.025. And it goes on up. Show quilting costs about 15 cents per square inch. That's when I really get intimate with the quilting and make it beautiful. Well, I do that every time I quilt, but you know what I mean. The fancy show quilting has only been done once by me. But nothing's computerized. It's all free motion quilting. I come up with most of the little designs to quilt, all from my head. I have a very pleased recent client who liked the fact that I did daisies and dragonflies just randomly. Butterflies are the only thing I really got to work on free motioning. Right now, I still follow a little drawing of them, but I can do pantographs too. So if you do want something that I don't know how to do in my head, I can do those too. I just have to order it.
Can you fill bobbins as you sew?
On this, no. Not that I know of. I've never done it. I don't think it will, though.
Tracy says everything you quilt is beautiful, Jeff.
Thank you. I feel like I've been quilting the same things over and over and over again. I just like mix things up though. I take the element from that quilt and add it to this quilt and blah 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 blah. Kind of
Your
just
mommy says love starch in the form of French fries. Starchy food.
Yep.
That's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna put that on the bottom.
Darlene says the quilting is awesome.
And just because I quilt fast doesn't mean my quilting isn't efficient. It's actually pretty darn good. I do get compliments on that. How do you quilt that so fast? How do you see where you're going to end up before you get there? I don't know. I just do. And I don't even have peripheral vision. So I really don't honestly see that far ahead of me or to the side of me to know where I'm going. I have ran over myself a few times. But that it's both ways. I've ran over my own lines and my fingers. Not good.
Yes, you have close to the finger.
Yep. twice.
See, even your own blood goes into your quilts.
Yep.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
All right, I'm gonna put these together now. And lately, it's leg pain going into every single one of my quilts.
Well, our weather here lately has been
Cold.
abnormally cold.
Abnormally cold here, guys. I'm telling you. And you guys might not think it's cold, but it was 42 degrees this morning. It was 37, not yesterday, but the day before in the morning because it was windy. I about had a body attack. Not a heart attack. I was just shivering so bad. I was like, yeah, nope, not going outside for another couple hours. Not till the sun comes out. But this morning it was 42, and I don't do anything under 70. I live in Arizona.
Last weekend when you were at QuiltCon, it was in the high 80s.
Yeah, it was in the high 80s, but it was in the 40s by morning. So when I went to QuiltCon. It was beautiful, though. I was walking around after QuiltCon was over. I was walking around outside, and Eric and I were doing our, walking around and looking at Phoenix and stuff. I was doing all that in a tank top. It felt great. It was nice there.
Christy says that's when it's time to sit in a hot tub of water.
Yes. I don't fare well with cold weather. That's why I've not visited many states. And the last time I was in states that are always like, they feel cold is I went to Washington and Oregon and Washington, like, I don't know, right before I met Scott in like 2008, I think. I don't know. Either way, I went up there and it rained the whole entire time from the start of being in Oregon to the time I got into Washington up in Seattle. And then by the time I left, it was still raining. Got back through Oregon, it was still raining. It never stopped raining. And that rain was cold.
Finish says someone should send you a nice heavy parka for those random freezing mornings.
Yeah. I wear two pairs of pants. I usually have what are those called? Long johns? Just long johns, right? I wear my long johns and then I wear these, the fluffy fleece pants. So I have long johns and those on, and then I usually have a tank top, a long sleeve, and then I wear my robe, which is very thick too. Just to go outside in the morning until the sun comes out. All right, here's another row, Mr. Scotty, for you to press. And this row can go up here before I forget that those two go together. 2 more to do, my friends. 2 more, and then I can put them all together. So I'll pull that bottom piece out, build on these. Let's not forget my sashing. Did I cut enough sashing? I better have. I have more. I have more just in case, because I wasn't sure how many pieces I need. Normally I count how many pieces I'm going to need. So I made sure to have plenty this time. Because these are all the left from the fold of the fabric, because I was cutting up to the fold. And then I decided, you know what? I'll just cut off the fold. So the last of it was, small. They're all the size I need them to be.
Where are you going? I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, just laying it right here. Just like that. These fabrics are adorable, though. Gotta say that. What?
Where'd you get them?
One was from a scrap a scrap box from I don't remember who, and one was from a scrap box from Becca. So if you guys are curious, it's Flower Garden by Lindsay Cull McCrae for Moda Fabrics. Yeah. They're definitely cute though. It's boy or girl because of the blues and yellows and gray.
There you go, the Daisy and Dragonfly video, and it was beautiful.
Thank you. I had fun quilting that.
Yeah, this would be a boy or girl quilt.
Yep. Boy or girl. It's definitely gender neutral. All right, let's add my bottom piece while I'm like literally right here.
Which long arm did you like the best at Quilting?
The one that wasn't there, mine.
Good answer. I like that.
Okay, let me go into the long arm thing while I'm sewing. So while I was at QuiltCon, I decided to play with every single brand of long arm they had. I played with all those machines. That's a lot of machines. There was a lot of long arm company brands there. And I played with them all. And so I played with Gamble. Nothing against these machines. They're great machines. They work plenty. Obviously, I'm not used to them. But Gamble felt a little tight. And I could only play with the ones that were off the belts as well. Sorry, the ones that I could free motion on. Should say that at least. So it seemed kind of tight. My machine, let me tell you my machine real quick. My machine, you could turn it on even when it's not on, and you could literally just put one finger on the handle and move it around perfectly. Like, and it doesn't hurt your finger. It literally just glides so easily, so easily. Well, my machine is pretty much the same as Handy Quilter. So it's pretty much that. My machine is a Handy Quilter type machine. That's what it is. Well, they had those there, Handy Quilter. I liked the Handy Quilter. I was going to buy a Handy Quilter, but I played with the Handy Quilter Forte, which is the 24-inch one. Or 20, yeah, 24. It's 24-inch. I played with that. It seemed so tough, but maybe it was because the machine was bigger. Then I played with the Gamble. The Gamble was not the green version of the Gamble machines, one of the white versions. The green ones they had connected to the computery systems, the Statler Stitchers. So I couldn't play with those, but I was able to watch them move around. But it was the white version. I'm trying to think of what YouTube. There's a YouTuber that has one of the white version machines. But they had that, and it was a 22-inch. It didn't seem 22-inch. It kind of seemed the same as mine, which is an 18. But it didn't really, that was the toughest machine of all of them, the Gamble. Like, I literally had to use both hands, and I'm not a two-hand quilter, but I was using both hands, and it just didn't quilt right. Knolting. Knolting machines are shaped and look just like Gamble. If it wasn't for the knolting sign, knolting looks just like Gamble. You would think it's a Gamble machine. They're skinny like a Gamble. They have the long oval throat like a Gamble. The newer ones are kind of squaring off, but either way, that one moved just like the Gamble. It was kind of stiff, and I needed two hands. The Grace machines, now I played with Grace machines before because Grace came to town when they had one of the quilt shows, and they were one of the vendors. Now, I've played with them before, all the different Grace models that they had then. And again, to me, they don't move as tight, but they are a little bit on the looser side compared to Knolting and Gamble, and the Handy Quilter. And Novus, now those they moved beautifully, but is to do that. And I still felt like I needed to use both hands to quilt because it wasn't a finger push like mine is, where you just touch the machine and it can move anywhere with just one finger. Now, I'm not saying my machine is the greatest machine ever there was, because it probably isn't. There's way better. But I'm just comparing them with mine. For some reason, those machines, there was one more brand. I'm trying to think of the other brand that was there. It's probably in my video. You'll probably be able to see the footage of the long arm companies that was there. There was one more brand, and that machine didn't move very well either. It was like every single machine. And obviously you get used to them when you own them and play with them all the time. But I would say 60% of quilters that buy long arms get computerized. So they actually never really move their machine except to baste things. And even basting might be computerized too. I'm not 100% sure. But I just have to say, for free motion quilting wise, I didn't like those machines. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. They just didn't move like what I'm used to. So nothing against them. I just, it would be hard for me to switch, you know?
Anna asks, is long arm quilting easy?
Yes. Well, for me, it's easy. For some of you, it's not. But it just came naturally to me. So obviously, for me, it's easy. But there are a lot of you out there that have bought them and you've struggled with them and you end up going computerized, which is fine. Someday I will have a computer, but that's because my workload is just too much for my brain. But that's not anytime soon at all, because that's another $10,000 that I don't have. But and I like the free motion. So I don't know. I mean, when it comes to buying long arms, though, I think you guys need to play with as many brands as possible, because for real, there is differences with all of them. They all move differently. They all stitch differently. They all sound wise. Gamma was the loudest. Gamma was really loud. They were a loud machine. Like I could hear those machines from a mile away. It was a loud machine. The Handy Quilter Forte, again, I wanted the Amara, which is the one that Becca has. That's what I originally wanted, but we didn't have the money for that at the time. Even with financing, it would have just been too much on our budget, you know? So that's why I went with what I did. But what I did get is pretty much like the, I guess, the Capri,
What kind
Handy
of long arm
Quilter
do you
Capri,
have?
a King Quilter 2 Elite Special Edition
Where can you buy it?
at Sewing Machines Plus. Link below every single one of my videos. You can find it there. Now, I can't play with the machine for you and guarantee you're going to like it, because you might like something else. But I definitely, just the difference of the machines, when you play with the same machine for so long, which would be me, it's moves a lot differently. And I do have to say that Handy Quilter Moxie, which is the cheapest of all the Handy Quilter long arms right now, it's like a 14-inch machine. Those are actually pretty cute. It's what Eric has with Treasure Heart Creations. And although I didn't like its movements, I guess I'm just picky, or I guess I'm just spoiled with what I have. I don't know. But it is definitely a cute little machine. And I overheard them talking to another person that was there that soon they're going to have computerized abilities for the Moxie. They don't have it right now, but supposedly soon that they will have it for that machine. So, but yeah, I played with all of them. And like I said, they're all nice machines. They all are beautiful machines. I think the quietest machine was probably the Knolting. The Knolting was really quiet. That was a quiet machine. Big and quiet. But those frames have to be put together on site and they don't come apart. Once that metal thing is put in your house, the Knolting frames, they're like one big solid piece of metal. Once those are in your house, you ain't moving it. And Gamel, I think, was almost the same. I think they come apart in like sections, but they were pretty big frames. And they didn't even have the full size frames for the machines they had set up, because it was just for show, you know, to show what they're like and what they can do. I definitely liked watching the computerized systems run, though. They looked confusing, though. Like, I'm not a computer-y person, so they looked confusing, but what they were stitching out was beautiful. Most of the companies that were there, they had bright threads in the machines, like pinks and bright greens and blues, so that they, you know, you can see it. And yeah, they were very pretty. Pretty stitching out. All right, Mr. Scotty, here is one more row. Now, this last and final row is only getting sashing in between every single block. That's it, except for the last block. So these, just going to put that aside. This final row is only getting in between. That's it. So I'm just going to just sew them, attach the next one, so on and so forth.
This the last one?
This one will be the last one. I'm just adding the next and adding the next and adding the next, because this one is the bottom row. And then I'll sew all the rows together, because I already have 2 rows together. Need to put the rest. Oops, dummy. I just you confused me. All right, so I am going to rip this seam real quick because I just sewed without a sashing. Like, oh, I have 2 dark blocks next to each other. How'd that happen? Come on. Come apart. My first seam rip of the video. Okay. Sashing first. Block second. Pull those little threads out. I do it after the fact. I should have done it before the fact, but I'm lazy. All right, sashing first. Ooh, look at that. I think I have just the right amount of sashing pieces. Woohoo! Lock second. Look. Oh, yes. I had just enough pieces. Look at that. Last piece of sashing. I didn't actually mean to cut an exact amount. Look at that, guys. Pretty darn good. I'm glad I cut all those little at the folds. All right, last piece. And now I'll send it to Scotty, and then I can start putting it all together. All right, and there's that. And now I'm going to move all these cornerstones, which I have plenty of, and I can use for something else. And now to attach all these rows
You're not
together.
putting a bottom line on this?
No, that's the bottom of the quilt.
You're not going to have a thing on the bottom of it?
No, there's not one on the top or on the sides.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to put these 2 rows together real quick.
Okay.
I'm just going to nest all my seams. Just lining them up, holding them in place. Did it start leaking?
No.
Oh,
I asked
gotcha.
you if it was done.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna open this up and attach this to the bottom.
How large is the quilt gonna be, Kentucky Lady?
I have no idea. I don't pre-math anything. I'll measure it when I'm done with the putting these together. I still have to add like outer border too, but
Is a honey bun roll half of a jelly roll?
honey bun is 1.5 inch strips. There's usually the same amount of strips as a jelly roll. So if there's 40 strips or 42 strips in a jelly roll, that's what's in a honey bun too. I don't remember what company did honey buns first. I think it was probably I don't even know. Moda might have been. I don't know.
Paula says Becky Thompson has the same long arm as you.
Yep, she used to try free motion. I remember when she first started her YouTube channel. And she, that's Power Tools with Thread, if you guys didn't know. She used to try to free motion and stitch and ditch and stuff, but she never really got totally into it. So now she's a computerized system. Yep. I just sewed all my hair in here. I swear my hair is everywhere right now. I'm shedding like the cat. It's so cold for me, it shivers off my skull. All right, I'm gonna add this row on top of it. Once you start, it goes so quick once everything's together. Yeah, my hair, especially when I'm long arm quilting, I don't know how it happens, but it's like all over the place and just falls right onto the quilt, and I just quilt it right in. I do go over afterwards and pluck all my hair out. Well, at least the ones I can find. I try not to get it into the batting and stuff, but it happens. I have very thin, sheddy hair. I don't know why, but and it stays thin too. It doesn't grow back any thicker after losing it constantly. All right, turn it back this way. Grab another row. And then I'll have the last top two to add to it. And then I'll be done for now. Just have to add my first border, which I can add now or later. It won't take very long because it's only 1.5 inches that I need to cut. The second border I have to look for. Excuse me.
Christy says added hair to it adds value to it.
Yep,
That's a good one.
You guys get my DNA. adorable. And I haven't even finished yet. Are you guys realizing why I don't pin yet? Do you see how much extra time I'm saving by not sitting there and putting pins and everything?
You can pull your DNA in 100 years.
Yeah. You're like, sometimes I don't put a tag on my quilt because I forget. So, you know, if they ever need to find out who made it and they're back, you know, in the future from now and they want DNA, just pull it from the hair and find out who made the quilt. There we go. Just kidding. It's funny though.
Kentucky lady says you're so good at choosing colors. I get stressed choosing colors.
Well, I didn't choose these. These were in a roll for me, but I did add the gray, which I probably shouldn't have, but it still goes good with the lighter gray that's in the line. All right. There we go. Last shot through. All right. Let me press this real quickly.
I can do that.
Oh, I got it. I'm just quickly like just rolling my seams back. Oh, it's not even plugged in. Needs to be plugged in. Oh, yeah. Not perfect. Not perfect. Nope, not perfect. But guess what? It's almost done.
Happy says, love the gray. Beautiful baby quilt.
Scott doesn't like this yellow color, but once it's all blended together like this, it actually looks really nice.
I'm not saying anybody else don't like it.
They can't hear you. They're probably wondering what the heck is in front of the screen.
I'm talking to myself. They don't need to hear me.
He's trying to show you guys the quilt that we're going to auction off in a second.
There's sticker too.
All right.
Finish is better than perfect. Yep.
I'm just giving it a quick full press now.
You and Christy think a lot alike. That's what you say. It's the best. Paula said the same thing too.
Yep.
Janet needs a large ironing table like you. Tell her about your video.
Yep, there's a video on how to make this. This is made out of a regular ironing board, and it's topped with and bolted onto the what? This is 1/4 inch plywood, I think. Yeah, 1/4 inch plywood. Had to think about that for a second. All right, so here's my so far. I just need to add. Can they see it in the screen?
Yeah.
Top to bottom?
No, not quite, but almost.
So here it is.
I'm like a minute delay though, so it's hard to tell when you move it.
Let me show you guys. Digest.
Linda truly enjoys your channel. Thank you, Linda. Now that's very pretty. Oh, pretty. yellow. Gorgeous.
So you can see,
Nice.
even though I used a gray, this is a different shade of gray for these. So it doesn't look too bad because you can tell that it's a polka dotted white fabric, you know. So there is, so far, I just am going to go around it. I'm gonna go around it with this right here. And then I'm gonna go into my stash and pull a second border. So this is just, I'm gonna cut more 1.5 inch strips, and I will have not even used a whole 1 yard because I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips, maybe 5.5 strips, probably. You know, so I'll cut 6 because, yeah. So I really like when I can do that. I give myself an allowance of how much I can use with a quilt and be able to make it. So there's that. But before I get to putting that border on real quick, let's auction off a quilt. So I have this baby quilt that has been in my Etsy shop for quite some time. And it is Baby Triangles. That's what it's called. And
She says she thinks a yellow border would be nice.
here's what it looks like. It's just a little baby quilt. And it's sort of heavily, not heavily quilted. It has flannel on the back. So here's the front. Very cute. And then the back, obviously, he was showing you guys is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and Piglet. And it's flannel, so it's super soft, even with the heavy quilting. I'm going to come close so you guys can see the quilting. And what we're going to do is start this off. You can see it is cross-hatched with a diamond. And this is all done by hand, not computerized. So if there's imperfections, obviously it happens because I'm only human. And then inside of the triangles is only, let's grab a block that looks like this. It's just dot to dot quilting, pretty much. So you can see it's blues, pinks, and a cream. So there that is. We're going to start this off at $10, which covers the shipping. So if you guys are interested, just start going, and the highest bidder will be the one that gets it. That's how we auction. So $10 is the start. And go now. If you are interested. If you're in another country, yeah. Yeah, if you're in another country, we can't ship it to you right now because, well, we can't. Anybody interested in it?
Becca's at $50.
Becca's at $50.
You really want that for $50? Goodness.
Yep, and this blue is like actually like a sky blue because it has like a cloudy look to it. Super cute. Super cute. And it even has a tag. I made it in 2019 if you guys were interested. It does have a tag. All right.
Donna Faye Bowers at 75.
Ooh, Donna's at 75.
Yep.
Oh, and the binding is white. I know that's really hard for a white binding on a baby quilt, but that's what I did because it really showcased the quilt. Any more?
Only 3 people bid. I think that's it.
So what are we at? Who was the last one you said?
Donna Faye Bauer.
Donna Faye Bauer is at what?
75.
75. Donna Faye Bauer 75 going once. Donna Faye Bauer 75 going twice.
It was originally 125 on Etsy.
Yeah, it was 125 on Etsy, and we're at Donna Faye Bauer. Nothing else, right?
That's it.
All right, Donna
it.
Faye Bauer, you are the winner of this auction. Just email me, and I will send you a invoice, or you can Zelle. You can use Zelle or PayPal invoicing, whatever works, and that way I can email me so that I can get your address and be able to get that out to you. So thank you very much. That's the only quilt I have to auction today, guys. And we need a bow. All right, so now I need to cut some strips for my to go all the way around this. Like I said,
what's your email?
It's Tiffany Groff, Tiffany_Groff_Quilting_Designs@yahoo.com. But it's in the first. It's in the description of every single one of my videos, and you can also find my email at the About Me page on here. And if you're on Facebook, you could just message me there too. You don't really have to use email, but if you're on Facebook, you could just message me there because I'm pretty sure I've seen your name on Facebook. All right, I'm going to cut some 1.5 inch strips. I only need to cut 5 because I need to cut 5.
Do you use installation with flannel?
Insulation? What?
I said installation.
No, it has batting in it. If that's what you're saying.
I think she might have said.
It has cotton batting in that one. I could tell because it's super thin and super soft. Most baby quilts get the leftover cotton batting, like I said earlier. All right, I got to straighten out my edge here, and I'm going to cut 5 1.5 inch strips. I probably won't need that many, but whatever. It can go on my strip then, if not. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5 might just be enough. I'll just cut a 6. I want to be on the safe side.
Since we were just mentioning Etsy, should we mention more about Etsy?
I have an Etsy shop, since Scott was saying right now, since we were talking about my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop don't have much in it. And if you guys are interested in something I make and it's in my Etsy shop, just actually message me. I do sell my quilts. It supports my channel, by the way. If you guys didn't know, I sell my quilts. Not all of them, but most of them. If you're interested in something that's in my Etsy shop, instead of paying all the fees, because you're going to get charged and I'm going to get charged for using Etsy. It's not just the person that has Etsy.
Just upped their price
they just upped their prices this week. So if you're interested in something, just message me or email me or something about the quilt that you want, or message me from the Etsy app so I know which quilt you're talking about.
We had like 10 more quilts to get on Etsy, which we were supposed to do 2 weeks ago, and we still haven't done. So
if you guys heard them,
be on there.
If you guys haven't heard them, I have more quilts to list on Etsy. I just haven't yet because I have to take fresh pictures of them all because my pictures are kind of scattered between phones, computers, dead phones, and all that kind of stuff. So I just got to take fresh new pictures.
What kind of cutting mat do you have?
I use a Postcards cutting mat. Why? Because it had a lifetime warranty, and I cashed in one. So I got another one. Which I got another one because Scott bought me one because I really needed one bad. And then the warranty went through. So. All right, I'm going to cut all my salvages off at the same exact time. And then I'm going to piece all these together real quick and attach them to the quilt. And like I said, it's probably overkill. I probably cut too many, but whatever.
What's the Etsy site?
It's Groff Quilting on Etsy, right? I'm trying to get it all to be the same name, Tiffany's Quilting Life. But I think Etsy is Groff Quilting.
I believe so.
Yeah. It's in the description linked below this video. You can find the link to it. I don't have many sales, so obviously people come to me directly and not through Etsy. Etsy is more like a source of photos for me. Kind of works easier that way between these stash videos. Thank you, Becca, for putting the link. Scott don't know how to do that yet. All right, I'm going to just attach these now onto the quilt. Toss that down next to me. Grab the quilt. Doesn't matter which side I start with. Oh, you have to go on, if it's a Fiskars mat, you have to go on their website, Fiskars website, and go to the warranty claim on their website. And then you have to insert pictures of your receipt that you purchased it and of your damaged mat. It has to be a damaged mat. Like, did it fall apart that fast, kind of thing. All right, let's sew this now. Just putting it right sides together and we sew on down. No, I'm not pinning or measuring. I'm just sewing it. I kind of really want to look through my fabric real quick and choose a border before I get off of here, but I might not be able to find one with these colors. I need my scissors. Where are my scissors? They're buried. Buried scissors. You know what would look even cooler? If I just added cornerstones to the corners.
That'd be cool.
Yes. So I'll put my sides on and then I'll add cornerstones. And you guys will see how I do that real quick. So I'm doing the opposite side. And then my next strips, I'm not even going to measure them out. I'm going to add a cornerstone to my start. And then when I get down to the bottom, I'll measure where I need it to be cut and add. Because I'm lazy. I try to make everything easy. Although it might be harder for some of you, but for me it's easier to do these things the way I do it. Oh, from my fabric, my half square triangle lays.
Oh, okay.
When I was being silly that one episode.
Like,
from my silly episodes. I'm gonna press this back real quick.
What? I forgot all about that episode. You need to wear your little lay.
Yeah, I have to make a new one. Remember, that was just me messing around. All right, so to add my little cornerstones on here, what I'm gonna do is about right there. Throw that over there. Let me just straighten that out because, well, didn't cut very straight. That's being sloppy.
Yeah, Linda likes your homemade pegboard there. Your rulers.
Oh, yeah.
Thumbtack pin and
Yep.
paper clip.
Yep, thumbtack pin and paper clips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little cornerstone. I'm gonna sew it to this end right here. Don't try this at home unless you seriously think you know you can do it. So I'm gonna put it on here, and then I'm gonna take and move that out of the way.
They want you to do yellow cornerstone. Practically create that.
Well, I did a blue to start. I'm gonna hook this on here. I was just gonna mix them all up like the rest of it. I'm gonna slide this through. And I'm going to sew most of the way down like normal. This is the no measuring method. Sew on down. I don't stretch or pull anything. I just kind of lay the fabric on top of here. That's why I'm able to do this and not distort my quilt. So I'm going to come most of the way down to about right here. Backstitch temporarily. And what I'm going to do, I know this seems weird, but I'm going to lay this the rest of the way out right here. And I am going to cut a 1/4 inch away from, so I'm going to just make a cut right here, like this. So now this piece is ending at the end of the quilt like it was supposed to, 1/4 inch. Right there. I'll throw that up there for a moment. I'm going to leave that piece hanging off of there, grab another cornerstone. I'm going to flip this out, right sides out. Grab another piece, just a random one. I'm going to attach this and then finish that seam. So now all I have to do is put it on here and it should come right to the very end like the original. So I just finish the seam.
Like cornerstone binding?
No, this is just cornerstones. This is just adding it without measuring anything. This is just the non-measuring method. Oh, yeah. This is just my non-measurement method. So now I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to grab my border. Again, I'm going to cut some away. Where'd my smizzers go? And yes, I call them smizzers. Why? Because I'm weird. Just going to make a nice straight cut. Grab another cornerstone of this pretty blue. Attach it. Then take it over to the quilt. Line it up. This is like improv at the same time. And then I'm going to sew on down and then stop before I get to the end so that I can cut it and add my last cornerstone. You like that I change things up throughout the process just to add interest? So many fun things you can do when you're quilting and just sitting here and not use math. All about the no math. All right, so I'm gonna come to about right here, back stitch, separate it. And I am going to lay this nice and flat. It's already stitched down, so I just need this piece to stay. And see, I did overkill on my amount. Just gonna lay it flat, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away from this seam from this last piece, which should match up with the other one. Oops, I got to straighten that one out because again, I cut crooked because, well, I just can't cut straight. You guys should have seen it when I first started quilting. Everything was crooked because, well, I did everything with a pair of scissors. So everything was crooked, nothing was straight. All right, I got a blue. I got a yellow. I got an aqua. What color am I missing now?
Cynthia says, I love your style.
White. Let's do this one together. Now this should equal the same as the end right there. See that? Look at that. Without stretching or pulling, it matches up. And I just need to continue on. So I'll find where I stopped and then continue on. Hold it nice and flat. And what happened? I run out of bobbin.
King James says this is one of the favorite ones that you've done. She loves the pattern and the fabric. Marianne says you're so talented. Love the way it all works out as you go. She says I've been impressed as I do it because I don't have the confidence you have.
This isn't about confidence here, ladies. And gentlemen. This is about me just being weird and skipping steps and having fun.
Donna says, wow, you are good.
All right. Now let's press these on. Or back, I mean, press them back, not press them on. That would be weird, right? Is that my phone ringing?
Sounds like it.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry if it's vibrating. Yep, it was. Nope, it's not important that I know of. It said scam likely. Oh. All right. I really want to dig through the stash now and see what kind of final border I can add to this. For 6 years. Yeah, it's been 6 solid years, going on 7.
Yeah, it's true. She's been out 4 years now.
So here's with the corners now. So no measuring and everything lined up. Again, no measuring and it lined up. No measuring, lined up. And fourth one, no measuring, lined up. So now I'm going to lay this here for a second. Remove all this. And I'm just going to give you guys a visual real quick of what I'm going to do. This is going to be not so fun. All right, camera is going to move, just so you guys know. So I have choices here. Let's go for a little tour. I have yardage there. Yardage there. Let's scroll it down. Yardage there. So I'm going to be back here and I'll still talk while I'm digging through all of this to find something that looks good. And a lot of you ask about that star there. It isn't full. I'm going to dig through all this from behind the camera real quick to find something that matches. And then I'll just lay them out on here. Because I also have fat quarters. I could probably just use a fat quarter or 2 as well. But let's see real quick. Cream, just 2 more seconds. Let me choose this real quick. Cream, aqua, no. That, will that match? No, that's not the same aqua. Brown, green. If I don't have something, obviously I'll have to just do this later on my own, but I'm looking real quick. I have this. Is that? It's not the same yellow. Too dark. Oh, I can't even get these in here. They're so stuffed tight. Come on. Get in the slot.
Gloria says I can't even get results that good when I measure. Elizabeth says it's like Disneyland for a fabric addict. Have y'all seen Becca's? Tip shows me pictures of Becca's.
Yeah, she has beautiful shelves filled. See, that's not the right color either.
Organized.
Nope. Yeah, Becca's got her shelves perfectly organized.
I like Becca's setup. Becca, if you're still on here, you get a thumbs up.
Yeah. Becca gets like 500 thumbs up. That's because it's so beautiful. Her setup is amazing.
She's off and on. I think she's around. I just don't know if she's working or something.
Oh, yeah, she's working on stuff while we're on.
I don't know if she hears it.
She hears it.
We like your setup, Becca.
She knows I'm jelly of her setup. Okay, well, I have nothing in those 3 stacks. Let's go over here. I'm going to probably accidentally hit you guys. Ugh. Yep, I knew it. Something with the flowers. Nope, that's not the right color. Nope, that's not the right color. No, no. Aqua, no. You guys like my process? I'm like standing back here going, no. I'm looking at every single one of these and then look at the quilt and then look up and look at the quilt. All right, I'm gonna look at my fat quarters real quick because oops, could possibly have something really good in there. Nothing down here in all this yardage. Yeah, she's got such a a lot went into that though. Very expensive setup. If you guys didn't know, it's Sew Becca. If she's here, she'll enter the link, but it's called Sew Becca, SEWBECCA, and that's her YouTube channel. I can't put the link in because I'm not linkable right now. I'm not in linking mode. You know, my fat quarter drawer. Let's see, what do I got in here? Anything with flowers? I'm looking. Nope, that's not the right color blue. Definitely not that. Nope, 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 nope. You know what I do have? No, that's not the same color though. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work either.
Mom says she's not a fabricaholic. She's a curator of an extensive private textile collection. I like that.
That works, Ma. None of this is going to work.
Dark cream or lighter teal?
I don't have, you know what's the weirdest thing? I make these quilts, guys, and I don't have matching fabrics.
Somebody doesn't want to be on camera. Somebody else does. He says, "Get out of the way, lady. I'm going to steal the show."
Okay, that's Thumper, by the way, guys.
Look, I just came in here.
I think you're too high. Oh, yep. Yeah, you were too high. You weren't even on camera.
And I wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm a big fluff butt. I'm going to dance around. The mama decides she wants to get on camera and do something. Yeah.
I have anything up there? I have teal. Nope, that's not teal. That's, ooh, that one might be pretty. Let's see what this one looks like.
I'm a big fluff butt. I get super hyper crazy for 5-10 minutes in the morning.
That's not the right greens.
When Daddy comes home.
With the teal. No, I don't think so. I have fabric under the long arm too, guys, but I really don't want to go out there and dig. I think I'm just going to have to choose off camera because I'm not finding anything in my current room here. All right. All right. I'm not finding anything in here. I'm going to have to look out under the long arm when I get a chance. So.
Christy says, Stumper says, crazy man, put me down.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to be done. So this is what it's at, and it measures at, let me see. Oh, hey, we don't need bags. Let's see what it is. It's a perfect square, so I'm not going to measure two sides. I'm just going to measure one side. 6, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44 inches square at this point. So that's actually pretty good size for a baby quilt. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to look under the long arm. Maybe I have something under there, but I don't think I do. You know, I really hate that I don't have anything in my visible view that matches. It's mounded, and yeah.
I used to be able to look around now. It's too much.
Yeah, my room's a mess, guys. All right, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna sit down. This is what I did, and it looks adorable for now. I'm gonna try to find something to border it with, though, the rest of the way. Just for like a 4-inch border or something.
Carol says under the ironing board.
Yeah, there's that bright yellow you guys are probably seeing. There's also a cream And there's that blue you guys
Oh my
are seeing.
goodness. Well, Beverly, if they all stop talking, I can't see the thingy now.
Oh, thank you, Beverly. That was
Maybe
very
money.
nice of you. Thank you. Thank you for the tip. All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I want to thank you guys for hanging out for my craziness and watching me build this little crazy cutie thing. I mean, it's adorable, right? Well, at least putting not the blocks together, but the sashing, because today's video was about sashing. But you can see how much bigger it is
Will you make a
using
large
sashing.
cornerstone next row,
Probably not, because all I have left is 1.5-inch strips. So I would have to actually put them together and make something, but I don't want to. So I could use this border though.
Can you take a minute and explain how and when you added the cornerstones in the middle parts?
Oh, in these, it's in the video. It's in the video if you go back and watch. So that's how it's done. Today was sashing. You could see it definitely shows those blocks off more. Add sashing and cornerstones adds a little bit more interest, and then it made it bigger. So that's the whole point, is to add interest. So that way your eyes are looking at the blocks and not just a bunch of blocks together. You definitely don't want to put all those same blocks together unless it creates a secondary design. In this case, this wouldn't have created a secondary design. So that's it. I'm done. Hopefully this video helped you guys. And I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Wednesday will be a 25 patch block. Don't forget about that. And any other video is, well, TBD. I don't know. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for participating in the auction. Don't forget to message me. Who was it? Donna? Yeah, Donna. And then thank you for the tip here from, I forgot who already because
Beverly.
Beverly. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.